Hey, how's everybody doing today? This is Dr. Joe Martin with the Warrior Mindset Podcast. Today I have a really special guest. His name is Pat Plummer, good friend of mine for a couple of years now. Met him through his son, who is a college Fresno State football player. Tried to squeeze it into the pros, didn't exactly make it. Went through, became a first responder. He's a county sheriff in Fresno County right now. But Pat and I have met each other a couple of years ago, where started coming into the gym, kind of doing with fitness. And this guy's got a great story from that warrior mindset of where he came from, the foundation of, from his dad along the way. We'll get into this, to where he's kind of pursued his own career and his lifestyle. And obviously in our gym right here, a couple of years older than me, but just a couple that we're going to just talk about his history. But before, I'm going to just give you a quick little handshake. All right, Pat. Hey, listen, it's great to have you on.
Great to be here.
And we're going to start off with, give some of the audience just a little bit of your history on kind of where you came from.
Well, born in Glendale, California.
Glendale.
1950. And thank God my parents had the foresight to move north, and raised on both sides of Folsom Lake, and graduated out of Del Oro High School and Sierra Junior College, and got a scholarship to Fresno State, and ended up in the Valley, and been here ever since. Now, you've, from an audience point of view, and obviously, I'm a military guy, former team guy and whatnot, but, Pat and I have talked about this over the years, but your dad was a Marine, correct? Marine, yes.
Marine. Yeah. And, but he was a Marine.
He was a Marine, and Dad went in the service late. Dad was, I think, close to 30 years old when he went in. And,
no way.
Yeah. And he graduated out of Pendleton in 42, and he was one of the older guys. They kept him there for a while and made him a DI instructor for a while, then ended up at Iwo Jima.
Oh, he was one of those guys.
Yeah, he was on a troop carrier, and he was technically, I think they call it a deck sergeant. His job was to get him over the side and on the landing crafts. And he put the last boat in the water, and he jumped on the last boat. Wasn't supposed to.
Oh, wow.
His job was to stay on that rig.
Right, yeah, just getting the guys off the craft.
And just get them there and get them on the landing crafts. But he jumped on the sidearm, and everybody else got a 60-pound pack on their back, and they ended up getting hit in the water. They all end up in the water. Some of them didn't make it, but he swims ashore, and shore commander said, "What are you doing here?" And he says, "Well, I'm down sergeant, so you're staying." So he was on the on the beach there at Iwo Jima for a while.
For a while, yeah.
Yeah.
Was he there for that whole tour of till we kind of took it over, or?
I couldn't tell you how long he was there. I just know he was there, and he didn't talk about it a lot. But.
Yeah. Well, there wasn't, there too is, we had a lot of casualties, during that excursion there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a ton of them. My uncle, was in the Navy at the same time, and he had a boat blowing out from under him, sunk from under him. So, they both had experience of being in the water at times during the war and those type of things. So it's interesting history back then.
Do you think that, from your point of view, here this guy's just, Iwo Jima guy, he's definitely a hard charger. He's that, that warrior mindset. This guy's, seemed like the type of guy put on that armor every single day. Do you think that, influenced you growing up?
Oh, there's no doubt. You're raised by a Marine who was a drill instructor. You get it done when he says get it done, and those type of things. But he was, he got 4 boys in a family, 2 girls. There's 6 of us, and I don't think he ever missed a sporting event.
Wow,
I think he ever missed one.
Now,
we were all in it.
Oh,
I'm playing in high school, and Brother Tim playing in junior college, so he's a game on Friday, game on Saturday. Then I go to junior college, and Brother Tim's playing at Utah State on a scholarship. I'm playing at Sierra, and he's making Utah State games after he watches my game. He's driving straight through.
Jeez.
I mean, he was very supportive.
Committed dude, yeah.
But those kind of discipline, too. When it came to getting in trouble back then, it wasn't fun.
Yeah, no. And so with the 6 kids in the family, from the top to the bottom, what was the age, like how far apart?
Well, the first 4 were
one after the other.
One was born January 2nd, one was born January 29th, and I was born July 10th, and the other one was born August 23rd.
We used to call those Irish twins.
Then he took a 7-year break and had another boy, and then took a 2-year break and had a girl.
So she's.
But right after the war, my brother Tim born in 48, my sister born in 49, and me 50.
Right.
So we came back from the war.
Yeah, they took care of business.
Started having kids.
Yeah, right away.
And my mother, too. My mother, she dropped out of high school and started in the restaurant business when she was in her teens, and she was in the restaurant business for over 60 years.
Jeez.
Owned her own place and at times, and then worked other places and set up deals. She always managed the restaurant. And my sister did it for over 50 years.
It's kind of interesting because you have, this colorful past, where you get this dad that's a, drill instructor, Iwo Jima, Battle of Iwo Jima, Marine. How many years typical back then? 4 years probably?
Yeah.
Yeah, typical,
Yeah.
People don't understand is like a lot of times in the military, people think everybody does 20 years. The amount of people, I don't know what the percentage is off the top of my head, but the people that are doing 20 years is not as much as people think. And even back then, because it was he volunteered because he wasn't drafted for that, was he?
When you think about it, he's class of 42.
Yeah.
War's over in 45.
Right.
So, I mean, he's in the
towards the end of it.
Toward the end of it, because Iwo Jima, then Okinawa, and then Japan, and surrenders after the bomb.
Right after that.
My dad always said he could vote for one Democrat, Harry S. Truman, because he had the balls to drop the
bomb. But that would be the only Democrat that he'd
that was the only one he'd ever voted for.
He's going for. But so when he got out and things like that, what did he do for work?
My grandfather was assistant chief of police at LAPD. Dad was an LA cop for a while. My grandfather was warden of Folsom Prison, 37 through 42. And my dad, when he left PD down in L.A., came up and was captain of security at Aerojet General Corporation, where they did the jet engines for the moon launch and stuff. So he did that. Then later on in his life, he sold cars for a while, and he sold real estate. Last thing he did was selling real estate. Yeah, I lost my dad when he was 57 years old.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so he was kind of younger. Yeah. Well, was it the lifestyle, the diet, and the nutrition, and you and I talk about that all the time. In the gym and stuff. Was it more of a dietary thing?
Hereditary? It's hereditary. I've got three siblings from my mom, 5-way bypass, my brother Mike, 5-way bypass, my brother Tim, 5-way bypass. Yeah. A year ago, I put 2 stents in me. So, But I've been the lucky one. I got the least amount of stuff.
Right.
But that's all family history. And, when you're in the military back then, what'd you get? Cigarettes. My old man smoked 2 packs of Camels a day.
Yep, non-filter. My dad did the same thing.
Yeah, and he's in the hospital. He got phlebitis, hardening of the arteries, and pinhole circulation. So he was just done. Yeah. When he was in there, he got blockage down low, so both legs were going to be. He wasn't going to live that way.
Yeah, amputated.
No, there's no way.
Yeah,
there's no way. He didn't have he's too tough a hungry sucker to be half a man. So it wasn't going to happen. But
so were all the boys athletic?
Every one of us.
Every one of them.
Every one of us.
And was any of the boys any better in one than the other? Like, obviously we'll go into your career from playing football.
We were all pretty good. Different positions. Tim was a defensive lineman. I was an offensive lineman. My brother Mike was a fullback. And
were they all your size? 6'2"?
No, I'm the tallest. Well, second tallest. The younger one's 7 years. The fifth one born. He's 7 years later than everybody else. He's a coach up at Friday Harbor High School right now. He's a football coach and a track coach at Friday Harbor High up in Seattle area.
Seattle area, yep.
Yeah, but he got the kind of the short end of sticks. My dad died when he was just going into high school, so he was left without a father deal. He ended up living with me. He played for me at Tulare Western High School his senior year.
No way.
And then he went in the Army.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did the same thing, like a 4-year, 6-year for reserves.
He went in and had a medical discharge. He tore up. It's funny. He's in Germany and they're playing a company softball tournament, and he tore up a calf and almost had to have his leg. It got infected. Yeah. So he had a military discount, but he's big in the military clubs up there in Friday Harbor. He was I don't know what they call him at the AmVet place, but he was the leader of that at one time. Now he's in the national organization. So
nice.
He does a lot for the
military
veterans today. Yeah,
does
a ton.
Awesome.
Does a ton.
Well,
his life kind of went south for a while after he got out. I mean, he got messing with some stuff he shouldn't have been messing with, and so he borrowed a car from my brother that was a year younger than me, and took off to Washington, and he's sitting in a truck stop up there, and he don't know what his life's going to be like. So somebody says, well, you ought to go to Friday Harbor. So he ends up Friday hard. He gets off the deal. He's wearing a Harley Davidson hat, and this guy up here painting a building looks down at him and says, "You just wear that hat or you ride those damn things?" And Shannon said, "Come on down that ladder. I'll show you what I do." They became best friends. His life got straightened out, and it's been the best thing ever happened to him. Ever happened to him. Him and his wife.
7 years younger?
He's 7. He's 8 years younger than me. Yeah.
And he's coaching now.
Yeah, coaching. Yeah, found a home. Guy became his best friend.
So
changed his whole life.
Because we'll go into this in a minute on yours, because you definitely did a couple of years of coaching. But is there anybody else, any of your brothers, like they stay in the sports stuff?
No, Tim was a direct business. Tim worked for an outfit down in L.A. When he got out. He did 2 or 3 of the venues for the '84 Olympics. His company did. I had a pass to go down and watch the '84 Olympics. What a great time that was.
Oh, man, I would have loved to go.
He had those connections. I was at Super Bowl when it was at Stanford in '85. The only one Moreno was at. I got tickets for that because Tim was involved in those kind of things.
Jeez.
But he's done a lot of different things, too. He drives Uber right now.
He's kind of chilling.
He's 74 years old, 75 years old, driving Uber.
See, that's great.
Retired. But and then my sister, she owned that restaurant in Folsom for years and years and years, and she ended up losing it during the pandemic for strike 3 because the guy that owned it passed away, so she didn't have a lease for years. She kept putting money in the bank, and then it got in probate with
because she didn't own the property.
With the family. She didn't own the property, so she couldn't sell it, so she just let it go, and now the irony is she's lived in Truckee the whole time since the 70s. Her ex-husband still owns the restaurant that they own together because she got the house, he got the restaurant, and they're still best friends.
Yeah, she's now working there.
She's working there.
That's awesome. Yeah, at this point in life, they don't. We'll just get along.
No, the sad thing about that is they just went to Hawaii as a family, and Brian has all these timeshares over there. Freeway bypass.
Over there?
While he was on vacation.
Jeez. Man, we got to work on this piping system, this cardiovascular. We're going to have a whole podcast on the circulatory system and how exercise affects that.
Yeah.
But
yeah, 2 of us got in the coaching business. My brother Michael, I lost 2 years ago to cancer. He was in the flooring business, then became a total contractor, building stuff. He could build anything. Then Tim he did all those brainiac jobs and those type of things, and it's sales and stuff like that. But yeah, it's
interesting because when you think about it, and you think about with this whole the Warrior Mindset podcast, and it's a foundation, and how when I interview people just to kind of get the ideas of where they came from and how they are who they are, and when we interview these people, the different people, the guests that I have on the show, is that I may know them sometimes from an outside point of view, but then when you sit down and you get into the conversations, you're like, that's pretty cool. I didn't really know that. And right now, with Pat, and you have this whole family, that the foundation of being, working hard and being successful, a lot of times, from what I'm going to interpret here is, you get this Marine dad that, obviously lived to 57, but set a foundation in his 6 kids' lives. You just got to work hard and persevere, know?
There's no doubt. And it's just, it came out and 2 of us have degrees, master's degrees.
Yeah.
And the other ones are all successful in what they do.
Right.
And what they did. And my sister in the restaurant business, there's nobody. When she closed that restaurant, I got former football players in the area up there. They called me up and said, "Coach, it ain't so." Say it ain't so.
Yeah.
They all went in there and had breakfast every day.
Yeah.
Every day. And it just killed them that she had to close it. But those type of things. But yeah, it's the town of Folsom, California, where I went to junior high and elementary school. I'm in the 3rd grade, and I'm walking down the hill to go to the restaurant for lunch.
Yeah, that your family owned.
My mom owned and ran.
Yeah.
But so it's just things like that.
Did you graduate high school up there?
I graduated Delaware High School, spent 3 semesters at junior college, and got a scholarship to Fresno State. Yeah, came down here.
What year were you at Fresno State?
71.
You did 2 years. 2 years. Yeah. 71, so 72. Junior senior year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I played outside tackle from that offense for Darryl Rogers there, and then I played offensive guard my senior year on the left side because it was tackle over offensive line where you have 2 tackles on one side and then a tight end and a center on the other side. I was 6'3.5", came to camp at 210, played at 2'5", with about 3-4% body fat.
Jeez.
But I could run. Back then, I could run 4.7. And
body styles are different, aren't they?
Yeah, we had a
nowadays?
movement. Oh yeah, our offensive line, biggest guy in our offensive line, weighed 240.
And what is it? What is it right now?
Oh, they probably average. Fresno State probably averages 300 plus.
Gosh damn.
So you talk about changing.
Yeah.
And those type of things. But
was your degree like exercise science? Or
my degree's in, well, they call it physiology now.
Physiology
Back then, it was a physical education major.
Physical education, yeah.
And I have a master's in physical education.
Is that now your wife? Did you meet her? You met your wife at Fresno State, right?
No,
Rick?
I met my wife at Hoover High School. That's
Hoover.
a story in itself.
Oh, we're going to get into. Don't worry, we'll get into that.
We'll get there.
But so after you, did you have the opportunity? Were you big enough, strong enough to possibly go to the pros?
No, when I got done, I was there was some interested from Green Bay or people like that, but I had to had to put on weight to play with those guys, and I couldn't gain weight.
Yeah.
When I came to Fresno State, I was still growing.
Yeah.
I was that late. I was still growing. I grew a shoe size when I got here, grew a half inch when I got here, but I had such a fast metabolism.
Yeah.
And I've been the same weight in my body right now for the last 45 years.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
It ain't all in the same place.
No. Yeah. There's gravity involved in that. Jeez, we're all fighting that still. Gosh.
But
damn.
So I decided to be a football coach.
Mm-hmm.
But love of this game and the game itself, and dealing with young men and helping them become.
Was it easy
men.
for you? Did you pick up a job right away?
I picked
like
up
right out of college.
I was a GA 1 year, Fresno State. And the very next year, I got hired at Tulare Western High School in 1974.
Yeah, which is a little south of here.
A little south.
Yeah. Wait, head coach, assistant?
No, I started as a JV head coach.
JV head coach.
Yeah,
oh, okay.
and then I was on the JV for 2 years. Then I became the defensive coordinator on the varsity.
So JV coach, how old were you?
I was 24 years old.
24 years on JV coach. That's freaking awesome.
Here's a story for you. I go down and interview for this job. I interviewed the continuation guy. Principal there was a guy named Herb Morelli. I go in there for this interview. He's sitting there, got his feet up on the desk. He's chewing, spitting in a goddamn trash can.
Oh, that's awesome.
And he's interviewing me.
and he's looking at you. Now, you said you grew late and this and that. At 24, you probably didn't look 24.
No.
You're looking at like, you were one of the high school guys coming in and things like that.
Then I go over and interview at the high school for a totally different guy.
Uh-huh.
Great guy. In fact, he's 90 years old. He's still doing great. But I went to his 90th birthday party last year. So I get hired at the high school. My good buddy, who was a GA when I was playing at Fresno State, hired me as a football coach, assistant football coach there too. So I ended up being I got the job in 74. Chuck retired in 77, and I got the head coaching job in 77 at 26 years old.
Wow. And was it with Tulare Western? Is it across the street like JV to varsity? Is it like here in the valley in Clovis, Central Valley here, Fresno, that a lot of times the junior elementary school, junior high schools, and the high schools on these huge complexes. Was it like that? It was different. Yeah, no. It wasn't on the same campus.
High school campus, different. They're all different campuses. Yeah.
So you had 3 years with JV, 3 years.
2 years with the JV.
Yeah.
And then really 1 year with the JV, and then the defensive coordinator with the varsity.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and then I became the head coach in
and
77.
Did they back then too? They
78.
You're also teaching a class. Did you have a PE?
I was a PE and a driver's ed teacher in the classroom.
Shut up! No way. Driver's ed.
Yeah,
do they still have that anymore? I don't even know if they have that anymore.
Just the classroom.
Yeah, the classroom, not outside on the road.
And there's a story there to be told too. I get my buddies tell this story all the time. I'm teaching driver's ed and teaching PE, and I'm in the parking lot talking to one of my players. And at the same time, I hit the gas and turned around, and a women's PE teacher, right in front of my car, hit her, put her in the hospital. You talk about getting a bad time. You're teaching driver's ed and you're running over PE teachers.
Putting them in the hospital. Yeah. You're like, ouch. Yeah. Nothing to see here. I
just bounced her. I didn't hurt her too bad.
Yeah. She's tucked and rolled.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you were head coach there, you're still doing the driver's ed and then
in PE, then you became full PE after you became a head coach.
Yeah.
And then we won a championship in '85. You got to understand, Tulare Union was a school.
Yeah.
They protected the old school all the time back there. I have 800 kids in my school. And I'm in the same division as Clovis High, Clovis West, in the playoffs. I'm in the same division.
Yeah, so like
they got 22 and I got 800.
Exactly. So for people that don't understand, is like, some of these schools out here are huge and they have 600 per class.
But I had some great players.
Yeah.
Some great players. I had a guy play 13 years in the league. A guy played 6 years in the league. Out of there, I had guys that could play, but I got a team of 25.
Yeah.
I went playoffs one year with a team of 25 good players. Playing Bakersfield, went right down the field, scored on them right away. Next series, hurt the running back, hurt the fullback. They both started both ways, linebackers, and we were done.
Yeah.
There's no depth.
Well, yeah, with that, a lot of those guys are playing both ways.
I loved Tulare Western High School. I loved that job, and had great people in that town, great boosters in that town, and I loved it. And then in '85, I win that deal, and I get a call from some buddies up here in Fresno to come interview for the Hoover job. I said, well, I got 2,200 kids. I go take a look. I'm not really interested in going because I love what I do.
And you're like 30, 30 something, 32?
I'm 36 years old.
Yeah.
And now I'm 35 years old. And I'm coming up there. And I just wearing a cowboy shirt, Levi's, and cowboy boots. I go in and interview for this thing. I walk in there. There's 8 people sitting at the table. I know 6 of them.
Oh, there you go.
They're athletic directors, baseball coaches.
From the Valley.
From the Valley.
Yeah.
I know them all.
Yeah.
The only one I don't know is the principal and the parent. I don't know them.
Yeah.
I'm in there 45 minutes to an hour, and they haven't asked me a football question yet. Yahoo, this.
Yeah.
It
was all who you know type of conversations. Yeah.
Yes. And then there's old Stan McDonald, who was my principal at one time at Hoover High School. He was at Bullard at that time. He goes, I think we ought to ask him a football question. So I interview. I go back. I go, I'm probably not going to go. And then I get calls from a bunch of people that I know up here. And they were 1-19.
No way.
The 2 years after that, and then have a winning record for that, 4 years for that.
Was your pay going to be a little bit better up here, or you kind of took it for the challenge?
Back then you get paid for coaching. Teaching, you get paid about the same. So, but I go back and I get all these calls. I'll write a bunch of things down. If she says yes to all these things, I'll come. I put 28 things down on a piece of paper. She said yes to all of them.
No way.
That's how I ended up at Hoover High School.
Wait a minute. You're like 34.
35 years old.
You weren't married yet.
No. So here I come. I come to Hoover High School, and I'm sitting in an office. I'm interviewing the staff and guys that are already on staff, and I'm going to hire them and do those things. And I'm just sitting in an office. I come in the spring of '85. As a principal at Tulare Western, let me go. Great guy.
Yeah.
Just great. One of the best guys I ever worked with.
Were they pretty happy for you when you moved?
They were happy for me, which is a great way to
kept
go.
Pretty good contact with those.
I was in tears when I left.
Yeah.
Man, I'm telling you, because it was just hard to leave those kids. And
did you keep in touch with them over the years too? Just kind of checking up on them?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
A great guy named Gerald Benton was my principal one time and, when I left. So I come up there, and I'm interviewing all these guys, and I hire everybody on that staff except one guy. And then hire Rick Lyons. He's with me the 26 years I'm there as my offensive coordinator, and a great guy. We're like brothers, but you get guys like that to work with your whole life. It makes it a lot easier. But
right.
We had a great staff, and then I meet Mickey, and she's
his now wife,
PE volleyball coach. She's a volleyball coach there. Well, she wasn't even teaching PE yet. She actually got a PE job the same year I came there.
Oh.
She did some other things while she was on campus, but we ended up having the same office.
No way.
But the doors got to be left open. We had to stay in the office. But I say it like that, but I just tell people that. They start laughing.
They got 2 kids now.
But a year later, I'm married.
Wow.
I'm an old bachelor, 36 years old. A year later, I'm married.
And for the audience, our subscribers, tell us a little bit about Mick. I mean, she's an athlete in her own right.
Dude,
she still kills it in this gym.
Dude, she's a DI. You've seen her work in that gym.
Oh, yeah.
There's nobody kills it like that lady.
She's no joke. But she was was she Fresno State volleyball?
Yeah, Mickey was.
But she was national.
She was
level,
an outstanding
right?
volleyball player at Fresno State. In fact, there's no doubt in my mind if they'd had 2 awards like they have now, they had most valuable male, most valuable.
Yeah.
Like they only had one most valuable.
Yeah.
They had Mick would have been most valuable player.
Yeah.
But she got a tryout for the 1979 national team.
Oh, before the 80 Olympics.
Back at the Olympic trials back in Colorado.
And then it got freaking boycotted.
Got boycotted in 80, so she didn't go back.
Yeah.
She didn't go back. She just finished her degree and went it. She
Yeah.
coached at Fresno State before she coached at Hoover.
Because she would have had to wait 4 more years after that.
Yeah, she'd have to wait to 84.
Yeah.
And she just decided to get her degree done and come do it. And she's
now, how many years you guys teach together? Well, she retired after you.
26.
Because you're a little bit older, yeah.
26.
She did 20, and you did the same.
She went 5 years after me.
After you, yeah, exactly. And same thing, PE and then
PE,
coaching. Volleyball mainly.
She was a volleyball coach. Yeah.
Yeah, and volleyball coach.
Yeah.
How did they do over the years? She get
Valley title in '85.
They did.
Yeah.
Nice.
Came back from. They were down 3-0. I think she came all the way back and won it.
Did she continue coaching the whole time that she had?
She coached until Sean, our son, was in elementary school and started doing sports when he was about 6 years old. She says,
"She can't do the sports at the same time."
I'm done.
Yeah, so you just kept kept teaching instead. Yeah, PE.
Yeah, I used to go to all her volleyball games, sit on the bench.
Yeah.
I got yellow carded on the bench.
Husband gets yellow carded.
She looked over at me, she's shaking her finger at me.
Sit down, will you, damn it. But so which is kind of cool with the story, and we have that whole warrior type of thing, and as we continue with this conversation, and I've known Pat for a little while, and we're kind of systematically going through his history. We got the fact that he was raised by a Marine. And then there's certain standards and certain, mortar and brick as they built the foundation of who him and his family are. Then all of a sudden, he meets Mick, and they have, two kids, a boy and a girl. Actually, I met Sean at a different gym facility that I was working at. She was probably going on 10 years now. That I met Sean first, and he was playing football for Fresno State. Where his dad had played, along the way. But it's interesting because I didn't know Pat before. I didn't know his history. But it's a compliment to your son first and foremost. As the guy was very regimented. He was very, very successful football player at Fresno State. But did you think that some of the way you raised Sean, or did Sean also have some of it innately in his own mind? Like, do you think he benefited from his grandfather? I mean, he didn't really get to meet him. But that mentality of you telling him stories of the Marine Corps and things like that, and obviously you being regimented, you're also a coach, which has that, that regimented mindset. Did he benefit? Obviously, he benefited from it, but was there some innate intelligence that he had too that you thought?
I think both our kids benefited from it. Corey too. I mean, they were raised in the gym and on the field. Yeah, since they could walk. Yeah, so they've seen it their whole life. Mm-hmm. They've seen that discipline, what it takes to be a team player, and what it takes to be a good, outstanding player. So they saw those things. They saw them, and then they apply them, and they knew about their grandfather because of what I've told them, but they never got the opportunity to meet him. No, it's a shame. They had the opportunity to meet him. It would have been big difference, pretty special. But
now your daughter, what did she play? Was she a volleyball player? Like Mick?
Like her mom. And then she.
Oh my God! Did she play for her mom?
No. Her senior year at Clovis, they both went to Clovis High. Yeah. Her senior year, she went into soccer.
Oh wow!
And she should have done it all 4 years. And she was good at it her senior year, but she tore her knee up. Tore her knee up halfway through the season. Yeah. Or she might have had an opportunity to go walk on somewhere and play somewhere. But Corey went and got her teaching credential for Fresno State also. Yeah. So we're all Bulldogs. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's
Well, there's definitely a little bit of a legacy over there, with the last name, with the Plummer family and things like that. And Sean did a good job too. But I mean, that guy, he was a freaking beast. Still as a police officer, a sheriff, but
they're, both my kids have master's degrees. Yeah, they both are driven. Corey just finished hers. Yeah, she was winging, but they both have master's degrees. They're both very good at their jobs. Mm-hmm. Very good at their jobs. Sean sees something that needs fixing, he does things to fix it. Yeah. Corey's the same way. Yeah. Corey's teaching teachers. Yeah. He's an academic teacher coach for Fresno Unified. Wow. He teaches teachers. He teaches elementary teachers.
And so she's not actually in a classroom.
No,
she's training the trainer.
She's a teacher on special assignment teaching teachers.
Oh man, that's
she loves it. She was 6 years first grade teacher first, and then she went into this, and she absolutely loves it.
Yeah, I can see them because they're both very outgoing, individuals. Sean the same way. I mean, he's with, special units right now with the sheriff's department and things like that,
He's, search and rescue, dive team, act team. I mean, he's doing it. And then they just sent him to school to be a instructor for the academy.
Oh, wow.
Sheriff's Academy.
Oh, nice.
So,
yeah.
And he's on the recruitment team too. So
what's he 7 years?
6 years.
6 years right now. Finish up 6. Yeah.
Finishing up 6.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's doing well. And he's always been driven to.
Well, he's almost like, if he was playing safety or DB at Fresno State, do you think he would have made it into the league?
He was playing safety.
Yeah.
But
because he was linebacker, right?
Yeah, he played at 205 like his dad.
Yeah.
Played linebacker at 205.
But he had the skills, but he wasn't big enough.
Oh yeah, he had the skills and played it.
Because he got looked at by
and played it well. He got Sean went to rookie camp with the 49ers, rookie camp with Atlanta, then went
Canada.
He played in Green Bay, Wisconsin for the Blizzard, which is the indoor team.
Indoor, yep.
And then 3 games into that, he gets picked up by Montreal.
Yeah.
Goes all the way to Florida with them to the training camp. Does a great job there. I got a buddy that's coaching running backs on this team. Goes back to Montreal, lasts all the way to the last guy cut.
Yeah.
And you know what it was? It was numbers. You have to have so many. You're going to only have so many Americans.
Yeah. Oh, no way.
Yeah. So he ends up, but they could have kept him, but he was the last guy cut. And my buddy goes, I saw him in the airport after when Sean came back. He flew back on the same plane. He goes, Pat, our GM doesn't know what he's doing. Yeah. This kid's around the ball all the time. But you got to understand it. I told him, you went further than most people go, son.
Oh my God, no!
He went a lot further than most people go.
And I talk about, I talk about him all the time.
Yeah.
With a lot of my young athletes.
To get where you got and do what you did and those type of things, you got legacy to tell your son and everybody else.
He played D1 football for Fresno State.
Yeah, I mean, we both did.
And he played all 4 years, and your dad too.
I was an all-conference guard at 205 pounds, and I was 6'3.5". The other all-conference guard that senior year was 6 foot, 305 pounds. Yeah, exactly. You put us together, we play it.
Yeah. You put us together, you still be playing. Exactly.
But no, it's been a great time in those type of things. What they've done, what my kids have done, what my wife has done, and it's been a great ride. And my background and with my mom and my dad and my brothers and my sisters. I mean, you can't have a better life.
Do you so your kids, let's see, Sean's 32?
Sean's 34.
34.
Corey's 31.
And 31. So it's funny because they're kind of in that cusp with like society. And like you got me by a couple. You ever see that expression with a dog, when all of a sudden it hears a little sound and kind of the ears kind of go, huh? Do you, at your age right now, kind of get your ears go up a little bit and your kids, I think, got away kind of unscathed? Like, do you kind of shake your head with the way, athletes are coming around now, the video games, the kids don't get out there like they used to?
I tell people all the time, Doc, see this thing right here?
Yeah.
That's the downfall of society.
Yeah, I know.
It is. I mean, I'm playing golf yesterday, and I'm playing with a great young man, and in between holes,
you can't let go of that thing.
Can't let go of it.
Yeah.
And it's amazing what hold this has on young people today and what's on it. Thank God when I was coaching,
oh man,
I didn't have to deal with this.
No.
Because now, when I told people all the time, I coached this game for 40 years. Mm-hmm. There's a bunch of shingles that hang outside your office. There's mother and father, there's psychologists, there's this, and the last one says coach on the field. Mm-hmm. You got to do all this other stuff. Mm-hmm. Okay? As a head football coach. I was a head coach since I was 26 years old. And I've done all those things.
Yeah, because you've seen some changes with these young guys.
Oh, yeah. I love winning football games, don't get me wrong, but the greatest joy you have is seeing young men who come from backgrounds where there hasn't been a lot of success in their families, and they become successful.
Yeah.
They become college graduates. They move on. They do things that you can't, that I had a counselor tell me, he says, you better find a job that you can work with your hands. I wasn't a great high school student.
Yeah. Oh, no.
And I looked at him later on, I go, I'm going to prove this guy wrong.
Yeah.
But, I mean, watching kids. I have a Facebook account. I didn't set it up. My assistant coach set it up because me and technology are way behind me. But I got my players on there, and I wish them a happy birthday. I see what they're doing. I comment on what they're doing. That's the only reason I have it.
Do you think because you retired, just for the audience point of view, last year, what did you do, 2 years in a row? You came back just to kind of
I was retired 9 years, and then one of my former defensive line coaches, his grandson got a head job, and he calls me up and says,
to help out at Clovis High.
No, at Clovis West.
Oh, Clovis West.
Not Clovis West, but Kasner.
Oh, Kasner, that's right. That was first.
Yeah, and that was first. He goes, I got people here that don't know anything, Coach. I need some help. I said, well, I do all these things as head coach. I've come over to help you. I said, I'm just going to coach football.
Yeah.
I'll bring the water out for you, too. I'm just going to coach football. So I coached the offensive line there through the pandemic. The second year, those kids never even got to play.
That's right.
Then I took another year off or two, and then I get a call from Sean Murray at Clovis High and said, Coach.
Was he one of your guys?
Yeah.
He was one of your guys, too?
On that 88 team, which was a great football team. And he calls me and said, Coach, we don't have staff together yet, and we got a new head coach. Can you come help us in the fifth quarter program, which is a summer program? I said, I'll come help. And then I was supposed to be the special assistant to the head coach, where I could have a schedule with my grandkids, need to go with my grandkids or do anything with my wife and take off. It's been great, right? Well, they lose an offensive line coach 2 weeks into the season. Who comes full-time offensive line coach? The old man.
Oh, man. Now, you did it 2 years, right?
Just 1 year at Clovis High.
1 year at Clovis High. Now you're going back?
I drop in once in a while.
You drop See, he can't give it up. You know what I mean? And that goes back to our podcast, is that warrior mindset. The guys, he gets the education from his dad. He's been fighting, playing the sports his whole career. You're never gonna quit, Coach. You're going. You walk around town, people know. He's got a great reputation in town. It's like people don't even care what his damn name is. It just goes, Coach. Hey, Coach, how's everything going? Even in our gym, which isn't this huge global gym, whatever, but there's a lot of guys that'll come in with their kids and things like that. And it's like, meets Coach Plummer, that his comments, I've heard him talk to some people. What year were you? You know what I mean? And you could pretty much, a lot of the years you could probably pick a bunch of names.
I got some of my players who've been in your gym and work out in your gym.
Yeah.
And Mike's in there every day when I'm in. He was one of my first teams. But it's there's nothing like that profession, because you meet and help mold so many young men. It's just there's nothing better, and it's hard to find good football coaches now, because a lot of guys want the money.
Yeah,
I got in this thing. It wasn't for the money.
Yeah,
for the love of the game.
Well, like you said, you weren't even paid. You were paid for teaching.
It was for the love of the game.
Yeah,
and the kids, and help. You just to see the successes of these young men. I pick young guys up at 2:00 in the morning on the street that left the last house they've been in. They've been in 7 of them. He calls me and says, "I can't stay there anymore, Coach. Can't stay there." So I pick him up, get him with CPS, get him into a place with end up living with one of their players, and this kid ends up graduating from Boise State and has a heck of a life. There's stories like that all over the place.
Well, those are the things that, I think with this type of podcast, I want to get introduced to people that have these stories like we're talking about right now, because, our society's definitely changed. It's definitely changed a lot. But when you can tell a story like, this young kid here that, been home to home, but he's still trying to play football, all of a sudden he gets that little bit of a break, go to school up in Boise. All of a sudden, the young man is successful in his life and hopefully family and whatever, that you can leave. I will guarantee you, and I'm going to say it is now. That you can leave this earth at any time, knowing that you put a little bit of a thumbprint. Leave it on this earth. With people. You know what I mean? Everybody
that's been in this coaching profession is in it for the right reason and left that thumbprint.
Yeah.
There's guys who get in and have big egos, and that's not what you want. Those type of things. Today, day and age, there's too many of those guys, especially in the lower level programs and doing. There's things going on all over the place that guys are in this business that probably shouldn't be in this business. But there's a lot of good ones too. But it's hard to find people that want to put that work in. You're working 2 full-time jobs.
Yeah.
Hoover High School, I didn't leave campus during football season, sometimes even not during football, till 9:00 at night. I mean, and you're there on the weekends. So you either love it or don't get in it.
Yeah.
Because it's two jobs.
It's work, yeah.
You pay for one, getting two. I made $3,300 as a head football coach my last year over high school. That was my stipend. I made more at Clovis High when I went back to work.
And I'm not doing half as much.
Assistance.
Yeah. What I heard this statistic, and I don't know how true it is, but just from a society point of view, one person was just telling me the other day that I'm going to use the word football, but say for example it's all sports, that there's a reduction in kids participating in sports by like 40%. They said football. I don't know if that's necessarily true, but do you think
I don't know
because of this?
I don't know what the percentage is. Yeah, it's because of this.
Or video games.
No, it's also because I'm glad I'm retired out of education because they dropped the bar below the floor. It's if you think about it, coaches are one of the last line of defense for kids.
Yeah,
bringing them into being young men.
Yes,
you understand it, and young women.
Yep,
they're one of the last lines, and their job's gotten tougher and tougher.
Yeah.
Okay, but we've gone away from challenging kids to just moving them into society. Mm-hmm. And you and I both know society's not, you don't get things given to you there.
No.
You got to work for them.
Yeah.
You got to make them happen. And you got to get out there and just, get dirty and get it done.
I don't think they said, so they're kind of not preparing the kids for that.
They're not preparing them for that. They're just passing them through. You're just going to pass them through. You're doing them an injustice. And they've taken discipline out of the schools.
Oh my God, yeah.
They've taken it out of the schools. Yeah. We used to have VPs used to handle discipline back in the day. They don't handle that anymore.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I tell kids, people, younger than where we are. When I was in elementary school, I remember getting in trouble. I don't know what the heck happened, but legitimately back then, they'd send you to the principal's office, and on a wall with a little bit of little leather little strap. It would be sitting on a hook, and it'd be a freaking paddle.
Yeah, with holes in it.
And they, the principal, what'd you do wrong? And I remember one time I kind of jumped the fence of the school, the property, and it was on some stream with a bunch of kids, and the teacher finds us on the other side of the fence and things like that in the stream. I don't know, looking for freaking frogs or whatever as a kid, stuff that nobody does nowadays. And oh man, I got my rear end whooped. Then I get home and I'm like trying to get some sympathy from my parents. My dad was a high school teacher. He taught Latin for 35 years. First question he asked me, what'd you do? And, jumped over the fence, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I almost got my butt whooped again. And he goes, well, you probably didn't do it good enough. And if you learned first time, now, God forbid.
I'll tell you a story.
But I learned.
Yeah. I went into high school. I was weighing 106 pounds. My brother Mike, a year up behind me, weighed 156 pounds. Okay? You think I ever got in a fight with him? Never.
Yeah.
Never. Mike had dyslexia. Dyslexia.
Yeah.
Mike had
disorder.
and you didn't have the help back then that you have today.
I had the same thing.
Yeah. My brother Tim had it too.
Yeah.
Tim beat it real good, and Mike didn't, but my dad fought for the West Coast Heavyweight Championship when he was at UC Davis back in the day back then.
No way.
And they didn't travel cross country to fight for the title because it's too far by train back then. But he fought for that. My old man had size 16 ring fingers. I had 13. Those are mitts.
Yeah.
Okay. My brother Mike, just like him. Mike got in more fights in high school than all of us put together. Part because he's frustrated or whatever, but he gets to the principal's office after the first fight. The old man, they call it the old man. The old man comes in. He says, here's the deal. He gets in trouble, you whip his butt here. Send him home, I'll whip his butt. But don't call me in here anymore.
Yeah.
He says, I believe you. How many parents are going to say that to a administrator? I believe you today.
Yeah.
So Mike gets in about his fifth one. After this, he beat this kid. Kid comes back. He's carried a hunk of pie. And he said, where's your brother? I said, you don't want to fight him. You just take that away from me.
Yeah.
So he's in the principal's office again. Comes home, gets suspended, comes home this time. My old man looks right at him and says, you're too damn much like me.
Yeah.
Turned away and walked away.
Yeah. Well, so it's funny because, things back then were so different. Like my dad, grew up in the Bronx, as a white dude in the Bronx, got many scuffles along the way. He told some stories, whatnot. But then he was a high school teacher, and I remember I got into a couple of fights in high school. I got a couple of fights in high school, and I just remember getting suspended. Some guy jumped me in a boys' bathroom, and I took care of business. Go home, and my mom had to pick me up. He's like, "Man, wait till your dad comes home. You're in trouble," because he's a teacher. I'm thinking, "Oh man, you don't want to do that." But what he asked me? He goes, "Hey, did you start the fight?" "No, sir." He goes, "Did you finish the fight?" "Yes, sir." He goes, "Don't let it happen again." Right? My dad was like, "Do not start the fight. Do not be that bully. Do not be the guy that causes problems in life. But don't make But make sure you don't bitch out.
Yeah.
Because then he's going to kick your ass."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That was my brother Mike. Same thing. He never started any of them.
Yeah.
But
he finished probably a majority of them, if not all of them.
You don't mind lying? My dad told us, "You're talking, you're losing."
That is so true.
You think about it.
That is so true. You hear that all the time.
You're
Don't be talking about it. Just.
But see, I was such a light, little skinny kid.
Yeah.
I had to learn to become a negotiator.
Yeah. Or else look for your brother in the hallway.
I used to have to think about it first, before anything happened. But it's.
You think to yourself, you're going through a whole scenario. Okay, so if I throw the first punch, if I talk a little bit, throw the first punch, if I run quick enough, but if I take a couple punches, can I take it from this guy? Is my brother around the hallway that he could protect me?
But I use my brain more than the brawn. Those other two use their brawn more.
Nowadays, though, it's crazy in society and things like that.
It's nuts.
What do they? So my daughter's right around your kid's age too. So she started. I remember she was at Alta Sierra, and this girl was giving her crap, and then she shoved my daughter. My daughter retaliated and knocked the piss out of her. So then you had to go to the truancy or whatever it is at the office. And as a matter of fact, it was one of the guys I work with on I was president of rugby team. And he was a truancy guy. He goes, "Oh, Joe, hey, listen, what's going on?" I go, "Well, there's my daughter here. She got in a little scuffle." And he goes, "Well, what are they call it something like you can't retaliate, or you can't, if one person touches you, doesn't mean you can touch them.
You got to turn the other cheek.
So I told this guy, and you know where I'm going at with this. I go, "Hey, listen, man, just want to let you know, if somebody touches my daughter, she's got full permission to just whoop some ass." He goes, "Well, that's not really the policy in the way it is, and she could be suspended." I go, "Bro, go ahead and suspend her, because then we're going to have ice cream." You know what I mean? And so it was one of those things where I told my daughter after we left, I said, "Listen, if anybody, do not, like my dad said, do not start any fight, but you better retaliate. If they come at you first, and I will take you out of school, and you will never be in trouble. Yeah. If." Because I don't think, the concept of if somebody hits you first, you can't hit them back. That just motivates more of the bully mentality.
Yeah. Yes,
if a bully all of a sudden gets one knocked out, that person's going to be like, "Damn, that guy hits hard. I'm going to go look for somebody else or stop what I'm doing."
Yeah, it's the same concept as giving everybody a medal or a trophy.
Yeah.
The same concept. Yeah. Life's not like that.
No.
Somebody gets the job.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody doesn't.
Yeah.
Life's not like that. So we're teaching our kids today that it's not all right to fail.
Yeah.
But it is all right to fail.
What happened?
Every billionaire in this goddamn world has failed.
What happened to that? If you fall down for the last time, make sure you get back up again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I've talked on it a couple of times with different people with this podcast, is the fact that you talk about the participation trophy. And it also goes, because you've been in the fitness industry for so long as a coach and as a PE teacher. I was talking earlier to one of the guests one time about, if mom's 5'2" and dad's 5'2", but little Johnny wants to be the center for the LA Lakers, you're going to have to explain to Johnny it's never going to happen. But with society, I use the word never because I'm 100% correct. Where somebody was going, "My God, you can't tell that to Johnny because Johnny's going to, himself." Johnny can play basketball. He's not going to be the center. Johnny's probably not going to play basketball at all, and to a pro level. Have fun in elementary school. Have fun in junior high. Have fun. Maybe you'll make the team in high school. But if you want kids to be successful and you want to become a pro, and you're coach is an avid golfer, I'd get my kid. If you think your kid's going to be a professional athlete, play golf or tennis.
Oh yeah.
Other than that, it's like trying to get your butt and my butt through a hole this big in any other sport: baseball, football, basketball.
Sean's good at anything he picks up.
Mm-hmm.
Anything.
Yeah.
Told me last time we played golf, he says, Dad, I should have done this.
Exactly. He could have been on the tour right now, and Dad following him as his caddy.
But you sometimes as a parent, you have so much influence on your kids and the path that they take.
Yeah.
But I tell people all the time, you make decisions, look back, I wouldn't change a thing I've done.
Oh, you got to change
nothing. I wouldn't change a thing I've done. And I just tell my kids, be proud of what you've done.
Yeah.
Be proud of what you're going to do.
Yeah. But also, too, is what do they say? Don't ever sit at the bar, crying in your beer, wishing you had completed something that you should have. Always complete the mission. It's that military mentality.
Give it everything you've got.
Because then when you do leave, like I tell a story all the time, and because it's funny in a way, because I wasn't good enough. Like I was a senior in high school. I told this on the last podcast that I had. Is I was a senior in high school playing baseball. I was a good baseball player, great fielder. I got a vacuum cleaner, could catch a ball from anywhere. I couldn't hit for shit, right? So sophomores were beating me out for that year. It's like, what the hell, So, but I didn't quit. You know what I mean? It's where you sit at the bar and you go, nah, I didn't quit that. You know what I mean? I would have been a D2, D3 soccer player. That's about it.
I was so uncoordinated.
You know what I mean?
As a young man, I played 8-man baseball, right field. That's where they put that's where they put the one who can't play.
Yeah.
I'm up here catching a fly ball right between my hands, and my glove hit me right in the head, knocked me out. I said, that's probably the end of my career. I went to be a pole vaulter, track, run hurdles, and high jumping, that stuff. But you find what you can do and what you can't do.
So it's funny because you say that because back east, because of the weather, we had football season and soccer season were at the same time in the fall. And then girls had soccer plus field hockey. Yeah. Wintertime was wrestling and basketball. Mm-hmm. Springtime was track or baseball. Kind of where you were growing up to. Yeah. Kind of similar. I think it's out here a little bit, but the weather's different, so you can kind of convolute it, but whatever. But it was one of those things where basically didn't work out, so I ran track. But I was one of those guys who really wasn't that fast then. Yeah. But it was one of those things in track. The coaches, all they want is a point. Yeah. If there's, you can get, 1 through 4, I think, maybe first place to fourth place.
Well, it's been on to me because you go all the way through 10.
Right, maybe to 10. So I would be that guy, hey, Joe, just don't quit. Run the 2 mile. Then I pole vaulted. But I pole vaulted, I think, 10 feet, 6 inches. That's it ever. You know what I mean? But I would always get, the bigger the meet, just get Joe in there. Just do not hit the bar. Get a point. That's the way, the team worked. And I did, back then they had 330 intermediate hurdles, the smaller hurdles back then. As long as I could get to the finish line, most likely I would get a point for the team. But I was terrible.
I had a pole vault record in high school. My brother took it from me. I had a pole vault record junior college. My brother took it from me.
The one a year younger?
Yeah.
Yeah. But dude, this guy had some size on him. He could bend that pole then.
When I did 14 feet at junior college, I weighed 205 pounds.
Yeah, so he was like,
I was still
what was he?
My coach, Ken Hashagen, said, take the pole when you go to Fresno State because I got nobody else ever going to use
it. Bend that thing. Yeah.
But
I don't think I bent a pole ever in my life. I just take the whole freaking pole vault. And
you talk about kids participating. This has been in my craw for a long time. But I've had 8 or 9 guys play in the league, right?
Oh, okay.
Every one of them, multiple sport guy.
Yeah.
3 sports. 1 played 4 sports.
Yeah.
All of them. Today, they want to rat hole people in 1.
Yeah. Okay, so here's a question from a coach point of view. How far would you go before then you go, okay, Johnny, you got to concentrate on 1, especially in the Valley because it's so competitive here.
I would do it all the way through high school.
All the way through high school, if they can make it.
Coaches asked me 2 questions when they came into my office. What's his grades like? Mm-hmm. What other sports does he play?
Gotcha. What other sports?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Because when you play in different arenas with different coaches and different systems and different things, you become a well-rounded athlete.
And individual.
Yeah. And I told people all the time, I go down and talk to my 8th grade classes coming into Hoover High School. I say, when you get up there, that's 4 years. You do everything you can. You want to play in the band, play in the band. Those kids in the band work just as hard as everybody else.
Oh, my God, yeah.
I said, do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? Do it. Do it. I used to sit down with the baseball coach and basketball coach during the off season and say, when do you need them? This is when this is when I like to have them. So they could play those sports, work together. Today you don't have a lot of that.
No.
And that's why when Sean went to Clovis High, instead of coming to play for me, I talked to Tim. I said, I want my son to be able to do other sports.
What did you do besides football at Clovis?
Soccer and track.
Sean played soccer.
Yeah.
Oh man.
2 years. 2 years he put too many guys in the hot.
Because
too many guys on the sideline.
Yeah.
He played it like he played football.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah. So they did 3. So
was he more of a like for football? Did you have him mainly doing sprints just to kind of keep the speed going, or did he run?
He ran track, so he ran, He ran relays, ran 400 relays, did all those things. Vaulted, did all of it. But and Corey ran track, played soccer, played volleyball.
Yeah.
So it makes them well-rounded people.
Yeah.
I told him the cream always rises to the top.
Yeah.
You can play 10 sports. The guy that's going to go play in the NFL is going to go play in the NFL.
Oh, check. I got you. Right.
He's going to be there.
He's going to the sport that he excels at the best.
Eric and Michael Kendricks. Michael just finished his career last year, 10 years in the NFL. Eric's playing now. He's at San Diego with the Chargers. Those guys are 3-sport guys. They're 3-sport guys in high school.
Yeah.
I mean, Ryan, my first guy from Hoover that went to the pro, Ryan Wetnight, played 8 years in the pro. He weighed 205 pounds. He was a tight end. I mean, wow. Not 225 pounds, excuse me. But they had H-backs back then where they put him in the backfield and do all kinds of things with him. You heard Brian Piccolo. Mm-hmm. No, Ryan, when he was with the Chargers, the Bears, won the Brian Piccolo Award. He worked that hard.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
We lost him when he was 49 years old. He died of cancer.
Well, there goes back to the foundation, right? You go to any individual, whether it's a military, whether it's a police officer, whether it's an athlete, any individual, that foundation is hard.
One of the smoothest guys I ever coached. They can stroke a basketball like you play baseball. I mean, just a smooth athlete.
Yeah.
And just a great individual, great family. And that's the key to a lot of things, is family. My last year at Hoover High School, senior night, I walked 10 guys out myself. There had no parents there.
No way.
There no parents there. It's almost a 30-year team.
Yeah.
You got 40 guys, that's a fourth of your team.
This was towards the end of your career?
That's senior night. Yeah, the demographics at Hoover High School changed my last 7 years.
Yeah.
But, we still won a championship the last year, a league championship. But it's...
Do you think that's the tough stuff?
It was consistency in the coaching staff and the plan at Hoover High School that kept things going like it went. But
you think you've seen that over the years, like with families, like where you have separated type of families or not,
Well, you look at statistics these days, in anything.
Yeah.
I mean, the family structure, if it's broken.
Yeah. Yeah. There's chance you're going to get into trouble.
The chance for those kids is less.
A lot less.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I had some great one parent families that did a great job with their kids. I mean, it just depends on, how hard you're doing things.
The parent themselves and the child.
Yeah, and what you're doing and the respect.
But
of
in
those
general,
in general, it's tough.
Did you see that kind of dwindle over the 30 years?
Over 26 years there, the demographics changed immensely at that high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, immensely. But
I think from a society point of view.
And then I found out, I think the last 7 years there, they needed my coaches and me and our coaching staff more than they ever needed us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, because you helped out the kids so much.
Because we were
the parent.
We were the parent.
Yeah. We
were the ones who were there for them.
Did you find that some of the kids sometimes would linger around just to kind of hang out at the school or because they didn't want to go home?
Yeah. But it's changed over the years. There's no doubt about it. A lot of things have changed. But
how do you think it changed for the better? What would you like if you were to make a decision to say to yourself, "Hey, listen, I would
raise the bar back up."
Yeah,
raise it back up. Accountability.
Yeah,
teach them what the outside world. We used to teach basic business class, how to do a check, how to take a loan. We used to teach home economics. We used to teach all that. We don't teach them anymore.
Yeah, like auto mechanics. And
we used to teach auto mechanics.
Wood shop, I think it was called when I was in high school.
We had one of the best shop program at Hoover High School you ever saw in your life. They took it out, put in a computer lab, and very next year they didn't fund the computer lab.
They're just vacant.
This state.
Yeah.
And they cut out your PE, they cut out home ec, they cut out the shop, they cut out all this. They sold that shop equipment for pennies on the dollar.
And never even kept a whole computer.
And they brought back, I forget what they call it, but it's a class that's funded outside the district. But there's 45 kids in those wood shop classes.
Yeah.
45 of them. And then they dropped those programs. And they were building houses at Hoover High School when I came there.
Jeez.
For humanity.
Yeah.
Build them in pieces, put them together, put them on a truck, take
that
them
was
out.
what, like a big Carter thing.
Yeah, they were building houses there. But they did away with all that stuff. And those are hooks for kids.
Yeah. That may not be the college bound person, but it gives them that
exactly.
Good job career.
They used to tell us you cannot track kids.
Mm-hmm.
What did they do? They said every kid can go to college. They tracked every kid as a college prep kid. Everyone. And I'm sorry, they're not.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Not all of them are.
Nope.
And I also tell people, see this thing?
Mm-hmm.
It ain't gonna be able to pound a nail.
No.
It ain't gonna be able to fix your dishwasher.
No.
It ain't gonna be able to build your house. It's not gonna happen.
Hey, we need people like that.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. You can work with your hands. You're very valuable.
Yeah.
The computer ain't gonna take your job.
And it's funny because society-wise, there's a little bit of a swing from what I heard research-wise, where there's more and more young adults, young kids out of high school that are looking into the trades. You know what I mean? Getting pulled into the welding unions, the labor unions.
The junior colleges still have these programs,
Yeah.
and every small farming community in this valley has them.
Mm-hmm.
They have those shop classes. Why we take them out of the inner city schools, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Why? There's those hooks for those guys.
Yeah, there was a whole program.
They're not going to be the academic students you think they're going to be, but they might be the best guy with his hands you ever saw.
Yeah.
And that's not demeaning.
No, not
There's nothing demeaning about that at all. You just gave him an opportunity to be successful in something he's good at.
And the money's decent, nowadays in a lot of these trades.
Just had my dishwasher fixed. $400.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It took him
10 minutes.
15 minutes.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. No, that's so true.
But it's I mean it's important that we challenge young men and women to be the best that they can be.
Yeah.
And there's a story. That's a military term. Be the best you can be.
Yeah. Well, I like the way you use the term, raise the bar. Like, I mean, getting kids back to, understanding what it's like, to get through school properly, looking, gearing them towards, a career that's going to best benefit them. Like you just said, not everybody's going to go to college.
No.
You know what I mean? So have people that can kind of, gear these young men and women towards, possible, good careers. Like, listen, for me, best thing I ever did was join the military. Do 4 years, you become a little bit more mature.
Yeah.
I wasn't the greatest student, behind me over here on my wall, there's a bunch of things, your diplomas and your certificates. They call it the love me wall. Look at how much I love myself with all the certificates.
Yeah.
My mentality, I had dyslexia too, like your brother. And for me, getting through chiropractic school and undergraduate school, it wasn't because I was smart. I tell people I was just too stupid to quit. You know what I mean? And the military gave me that. Just don't quit. Yeah. Just keep going, So I was fortunate enough to graduate from there. But if people can just have that mentality, they get that foundation. In like your case, you gave so many young men a foundation in athletics and football. You also gave a bunch of young men and women from the teaching point of view, the PE, this foundation of who you are, and then where they hopefully in the future emulate some of the things. Man, my coach, he did this. I'm going to follow what my coach did. Look at my coach. People see you now, 70-something years old, and, you're still in the gym, working hard and things like that. That you have built a foundation for yourself that you're now just passing on, which you've done for the 30, 40 years, in your career, to where, you can leave this earth at some point in your life to go, yeah, you know what? I played a part on some of these people's lives.
When I played that game, I played at 205.
Yeah.
I outworked everybody.
Yeah.
When just a typical going from station to station in practice, and there's another buddy and we raced to every one.
Mm-hmm.
Those fat guys didn't like us.
Yeah.
They had to run.
Yeah.
But I did everything to the fullest of my
fullest
ability.
level, yeah.
Fullest of my ability.
Yeah.
Everything.
And if we
Because
could
I
just teach
work
people
hard.
nowadays, I don't think they have that mentality as much. I mean, your son and your daughter, I mean, they're the, what do they say? The fruit doesn't fall far from the tree.
No.
I mean, you got two kids that have followed the same as you and your wife, and they're very successful people. If we can just get a lot of these young men and women to, like you said, get away from the phone and start to look into their lives and get a good career going, I think our society will make a change.
Well, this society has to change. If it doesn't,
Man,
we're in trouble.
Gonna go to hell in a handbasket.
I mean, the government we have right now wants you to depend on them. That's it. That's a short sentence right there. They want you to depend on them.
Yeah. And it's got to change.
If we end up depending on them, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about just one side of the aisle. I'm talking about both sides of the aisle.
Oh, no, yeah.
I saw a great thing the other day. Nobody reads these 5,000-page bills. So why don't we smuggle term limits into them?
Yeah. That's a really good point. Yep. Oh, yeah. And it's like, you're not doing your job right, then you got to get out.
Well, it's the same way. Mm-hmm. It's the same way there.
Yeah.
They're there. There's not one of those guys that go into that job. Not one comes out poorer than went in.
No.
Not one.
No.
It's called special interest.
Yeah.
There's only one that did.
Yep.
His name was Trump.
Yep.
He lost money.
Yeah, he didn't get paid.
No, he lost money. Mm-hmm. He didn't even get paid. He lost money because he wasn't running his corporation
his own corporations,
at the time. So there's a guy that lost money.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you like him or not, his personality or not, he got things done. But
it's funny you say that because people say, "Oh my God, he's not this, he's not that, he's not this," and whatnot. Like,
what is he?
First of all, I don't know him personally, so I don't really care.
No.
Right. Secondly, if he's running my country and making it beneficial, so we can, no pun intended, but make it great again, that's fine. And I used to teach my kids along the way. Nobody can hurt your feelings. You can only allow your feelings to get hurt. So if people say, well, he's kind of hurts my feelings. That's a you problem.
How many institutions gave college kids a day off because they were crying?
Yeah.
I mean, never in the history of our country.
Yeah.
Never.
And you got a safe space.
We go through 2 world wars, and if you want to cry about something, and we're talking about Memorial Day going on right now. There's guys who gave their life so you could be free.
Exactly.
No, not so you could cry about something that somebody's hurting your feelings.
Yeah. I mean, that's just to drop my kids, from day one, oh, well, he hurt my feelings. He did this. It's like, that's your fault. But it was his. They allowed you, you allowed them to hurt your feelings. Like, so this, from a Trump point of view, and I voted for the guy that, I thought he did a good job when he was here. It's like, I don't want him to be my friend.
No.
I don't want him to be any foreign country's friend.
No.
I want to make sure that our country is running right. So it's like people want this fuzzy feeling with their president. No. Just let him run the country the way it is.
Well,
and make it great.
To see what he accomplished with what they've been trying to do and they're still trying to do to him and what he accomplished with that pressure.
Mm-hmm.
You think that guy was a crybaby growing up?
No.
No.
Read his book. His book is amazing. You know what I mean?
But it comes down to, just work hard.
Yeah.
Don't pity yourself.
Yeah. Well, they talk about the guy came for money. Okay, let's go through Joe Biden's history. Let's go for Pelosi's history.
Yeah.
These people all came from money.
They all came from money.
Nobody's like me. No president is like me.
Well, they
all had money.
What are they all worried about?
Yeah.
They're worried about him draining a swamp.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's why they're after him.
Yep.
That's why they've been after him.
Mm-hmm.
He's not them.
Yeah.
He's not them.
But then the other day, the FBI lost Biden's laptop. It was like, yeah, okay. And
See,
a lot of things are unraveling. A lot of things are unraveling.
Oh, sure they are. Sure they are.
And
a lot of people are starting to wake up, hopefully, and we'll see what happens. But we can talk politics every day.
Oh,
you and I are both conservatives, so we're just, but I got friends that are Democrats.
Oh, yeah, no.
They're not all Democrats think like those guys.
Well, if John F. Kennedy was alive,
he'd be a Republican.
Right.
There's no doubt.
Super conservative.
There's no doubt. He'd be a Republican right now.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't think so.
Yeah.
But he would be.
I think so too.
Yeah.
But
we could talk about that subject all day long.
Yeah.
Just get more frustrated about it. But
That'll be for another show. Yeah. That'll be Coach and I'll be sitting. We'll have a behind the scenes where we're just talking politics of what's going on right now. But hey, listen, we're going to finish up here from, this is Dr. Joe Martin from the Warrior Mindset Podcast, and we had a great conversation here with Coach. Just from his history, 30, 40 years of coaching kids and in the fitness industry, and probably seen a lot of things that have changed, good and bad, within our society. But really, for the most part, it's that warrior mentality. He came from, a dad that was in the Marine Corps, set up his family to just, be good individuals, be successful as much as you can. And that's what a warrior mindset is. And, as we continue on with these shows, we're just going to have different people on and trying to get different intriguing stories to, see what makes individuals tick. And I'm real fortunate to have you on, Coach. And, we will have to do one of those behind the scenes where we'll just we'll sit on and talk, two older guys, talk about freaking politics and shit like that too.
Well, you get to be 72 years old, just keep moving.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So, hey, listen, I'm going to give you a good handshake, Coach.
Thanks,
and
buddy.
Listen, I appreciate it. And we'll definitely talk soon.
Thanks for having me. It's fun.
You're welcome. So, everybody, this is once again Dr. Joe Martin with the Warrior Mindset Podcast, and we're finishing up today with Coach Pat Plummer. If you have some questions for him, we'll get you some information on his social media, if you will. And but we look forward to hearing from you guys. If you have any comments, definitely like and subscribe below, and we'll see you real soon. So once again, this is Dr. Joe Martin with the Warrior Mindset Podcast. Have a great day.
Cool.
Good.